Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a special Christmas Eve edition of the AM show hosted live on AlphaMint. I am your host, R2Degen, and joined with me, as always, live from the road, free market capitalist.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
All right,
I
Santa
tried.
Claus capitalist, I guess it is today. Amazing.
Yes, free market Santa Claus.
Free market. That has much better ring to it.
There you
My
go.
apologies. You just threw me for a loop. Normally you do the hey now, and now we're doing ho ho ho's, and you're singing yesterday. I don't know what's going on with you, man. You've changed.
For the better?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, good.
You can say that out live and out you like that. No, this is great. It's we're coming to a close on the year. It's been a really amazing 2021, at least in terms of NFTs. You might debate not so much in the world, but everything is doing great here on AlphaMint, and we're excited to have you all here joining us on Christmas Eve. So yeah, are you? What's going on with you? You're all ready for the holidays? Are you got anything big planned?
No huge plans. Gonna be visiting with some family who's close in the area, and just holiday love and light and all that good stuff. And yeah, looking forward to this new year coming. It feels very bullish out here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
Out
see
her.
some great stuff. If I know you didn't tune in last night, but we also had a great talk with a couple of CPAs last night. Maz and I did it on the stage. The recording will be going up this afternoon for people to watch. Not the most fun topic to talk about, but they're actually NFT traders themselves. They get the space. You can say things like crypto dick butts, and they laugh, not give you like the cross-eyed like, what the hell are you talking about? And it was incredibly informative. I'm not from the States, so I don't know how much of it particularly applies to me, but it was for anyone in that jurisdiction. It's going to be incredibly helpful, and you got to check it out.
Yeah, I was out when it was going down, but I glanced at my phone and I kept seeing in all caps someone typing, "Don't tread on me," which, for those of you from America, that is the Tea Party's slogan for no taxes. So I knew a tax talk was going on because I had seen "Don't tread on me" 15 times pop up on my phone as a notification. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool. Go check that out. Is it uploaded yet?
no, it's going to be up this afternoon. We actually did do
Okay.
it on YouTube live like we normally do for all of our streams too, and there wasn't a lot of viewers in it, which is fine. But there was just one guy that hopped in. I swear to God, for like 2 minutes, he just wrote "fuck tax" in the in the chat, and then bailed. I was like, all right, cool. I guess
Yes,
we're doing that.
some guy. Yes, it
Was
was
that
some
you? I knew the name looked familiar. Um, yeah,
just
it does suck to pay them, but honestly, it sucks worse for the consequences that you will have for avoidance. But yeah, we can. I'm sure we'll talk about that more, and we're gonna have another. Some other people from Zen Ledger on next week to talk about their kind of their reporting products that they have. So yeah, I mean it's a reality that has to be dealt with. So
or just go type your wallet address into the SOS little meter there, and it'll tell everybody exactly what taxes you owe this year as
misspelled
it puts out.
IRS coin.
Yeah, this is a very cool story today, but I have to say that was my first instinct. I was like, oh, they print out a beautiful infographic that will be Exhibit A at my trial.
Well, let's get through a couple of news items here, including what's going on in the crypto markets, and then we'll do some SOS talk after, because I do think that there might be some interesting stuff going on there, and I know you feel the same way.
I claimed mine.
I did too. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, okay. Let's talk crypto. Not a bad day yesterday. We're looking like things are a little bit in the green. Bitcoin found its way up over 51,000. Ethereum sitting at 4,100 right now. Cardano having a bit of a run, but we don't really talk about that. And
Did you see they airdropped NFTs to Cardano holders? I almost fell out of my chair. There's some Cardano NFT project I saw people flexing last night on the Twitter stream. This Twitter algorithm keeps pumping strange shit into my stream all of a sudden. Jack, What happened? 1 week.
It's because you're a
1 week.
soul maxi now.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Talk about
the
what?
shame.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
You
All
want
right,
to say
here
it?
we go.
You gonna say it?
Sidebar. All right, so this is gonna happen right now. I have a friend who you may all know, but he will rename nameless. Now, this person is extremely well connected in the NFT world in Hollywood, and he said, "Hey, man, guess what? I got something for you. I got a play for you." I was like, "All right." He goes, "This is gonna be the Bored Apes of." I was like, "Oh shit, Solana." Blech. I didn't know what to do. Right?
Fell
I
out
was
of your
like,
chair,
"Oh my
I
god,
have
are
no
you
doubt.
kidding me?" So he's like, so first he goes to set up a Phantom wallet. I'm like, what is that? I thought it
Well,
was
that's what
some
we
like
led with.
Ethereum.
What's your Phantom wallet? And you were like, what the fuck?
What? I don't even know what that. I thought it was like Rainbow.me or something. One of these new Ethereum wallets I didn't know about. But he's like, nah, bro, trust me. Like, it's only going to be one soul each, and it's going to be the board, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, ugh. I hung up. I'm literally procrastinating for like 2 hours. Like, I really don't want to do this. Like, I'm gonna have to tell Cobain on the show what is going on.
That was your biggest concern, not like
that
a
was my
huge
biggest.
win.
Telling
You're
you,
like,
no,
just
no.
a disappointment. You're a constant disappointment to me. It's not a big deal. Oh my god, it's so day before Christmas, and I'm like,
so I download this godforsaken app to my phone. I load 600 USD, which was 3 point something Solana, into this godforsaken thing. And I text my boy back. I was like, all right, I did it. This is my address, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, shit, I think the allow list just filled up. Let me get back to you in the morning and see if I can get you on. The next morning, Catalina Whale Mixer minted. I was not on the allow list, and it is a 20x from that point.
I didn't actually know that.
So if we want to talk about twisting the knife, not only was I convinced to buy this godforsaken. Did I already say godforsaken?
A couple times, yeah. 4, 5. I'm gonna have a counter going up now.
So now I am stuck with 3.26 Solana, a wallet I don't want, and yeah, I'm a broken man.
Is that all of your liquidity right now?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, $600. That's, the problem is art blocks fell 80%, and I have to make that $600 last until redacted.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got the.
All right, that was a side note. How are the
No, I mean,
how are the crypto markets?
Yeah, they're good. Everything's
is
doing
Solana
really
down
well.
15%?
Nope, Solana is up about the same as everything else right now, sitting at about 4, 5, 6%. So you're still in parity with probably your initial buy-in. So I think you will survive to see another day. Metaverse plays continue to do really well, but I think kind of the talk of the town right now might just be that DeFi is creeping back onto the scene. I still have a hard time believing people are going to be aping into too much, especially very, very, very short-term plays as the year end kind of inches forward, and taxes are a real consideration. But hey, I guess profit is profit, and if you see a chance to make some big money, you can just pay the taxes with it too. But yeah, DeFi seems to be kind of coiling up, and these altcoins are starting to have some pretty good little runs there.
The first DeFi summer in 2019 lasted 3 months. The second one last year lasted a month and a half, and this year's lasted about a week and a half. I'm curious to see what the next DeFi run looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be about 6 hours. Somebody's going to turn about $1,000 into 600 billion, and they're going to become the richest person in the world. And then we're going to move back into NFTs.
There are quite a few random altcoins popping up amongst people I trust. These are ERC20s. They're not different chains. But I thought to myself, this was the exact time last year I started seeing Shiba Inu coin pop up amongst the outskirts of these people I trust and kind of follow. And they always have some wacky thing. And I said, is it that time of the cycle when your dumbest friend is going to go buy a bag for no apparent reason and next year make more than you've ever made in your entire life on one trade? It's that time of the year, people. Go look at those weird coins. What is this jewel I keep seeing everywhere? Yeah.
You
DeFi
said like, was it you that
coins.
said like a 1 in 20
Time.
shot? I gotta believe it's way worse than that, or else it would just be a no brainer.
No, I bet you we could consolidate that list down to less than 20 of the potential ships next year.
So then why aren't we just
Then just throw a grand into each
yeah,
one,
I
right?
was literally gonna say
We
like if
are.
that's all it
We're gonna.
takes. Oh, okay, all right.
Yep.
We'll do a little
We're gonna do it this year. We'll
fun
make a list.
here. Okay,
That'll be
done.
yeah.
We're in. Perfect.
Confet.
Billionaires by end of 2022. Let's go.
We figured it out. So Bitcoin, Ethereum,
yeah,
sideways.
let's just get into some
Kinda
news
up.
though. One thing that I saw was interesting was coming out of El Salvador. Bukele has not responded to claims of Bitcoin vanishing from citizens' wallets. In a report, in the latest in a long line of problems plaguing El Salvador's Bitcoin embrace, locals are reporting that their Bitcoin is vanishing from their accounts. It is important to note that El Salvador did create their own wallet for their citizens to use. The citizens are not obligated to use that wallet, but it was made to be accessible to them as they adopted Bitcoin. And they actually gifted, I think it was $10 or $20 of Bitcoin to every single El Salvadorian. But now there's been about 50 examples of Bitcoin inexplicably going missing from the Salvadorian Chivo wallets. I have mixed feelings about this because, if 50 people, I'm going to air quote, getting hacked or whatever, doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. If you're dealing with seed phrases or passwords, phishing scams, all that stuff. I think we see about 50 Bored Apes a month getting inexplicably missing from somebody's wallets. I don't know. Does this strike you as odd? It is a centralized wallet. It is closed source. So I think that's a frustration point for a lot of people. But, do you have a take on this?
Well, I think that this is one of the bigger stories of the last year, and it was one of the indications of this like domino falling. And while this was a small nation, we expect other nations to follow. But when a very large country, or a small country even, but when a country does this, you're having the majority of your people who don't know anything about crypto, right? They don't know anything about how to use a wallet, and you're kind of onboarding them into this new protocol. Now, I find governments extremely inefficient and poor at conceiving and building products that private teams could do a lot better. And I think that what you had told me that at least they have the option to use other wallets. So I think if I were advising people in El Salvador, not that they necessarily care what I think, I would say you definitely want to use a wallet from a company dedicated to crypto natives, and that type of thing. Anything the government builds, it's not their expertise. They tend to not be well paid enough to actually execute a good product. So I'm not surprised this is happening. I don't think it's a huge deal because I'm sure the government will make it right. But at the same time, I think that this is just a perfect example of why large centralized organizations like governments should not be putting out the tools. You can facilitate for this Bitcoin to become a currency, but to put out the tools, I think you leave that up to private companies whose competencies are building these type of dApps.
Yeah, I wonder what the the trust situation was there for people to adopt Bitcoin. I mean, El Salvador is not a wealthy nation. This was a pretty bold move from their president, and his approval rating, I'm led to believe, is actually quite high, despite maybe not being super favorable with the Bitcoin move. But maybe there was just some sort of like by the government putting out something, there was a trust there, or maybe these people have not a lot of trust in their government, and maybe they should have provided more dialogue around how to use existing wallets. I haven't been there. I'm not from there, so I don't know what the situation on the ground, so to speak, looks like. But it's been interesting nonetheless. For some reason, to me, like 50 seems like this is probably 50 people that were the victim of some kind of scam or fraud or something like that. It seems like a not big enough number. And it also does not say the quantities that went missing. So that's, of curiousness too. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how far that goes, and if more of them starts coming out, and it might not be a good sign for it, especially. Well, shit, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like another government like creating FUD around it.
The Chinese.
Could be.
We know the Chinese don't like Bitcoin.
No, not at all.
That was my speculation.
Zero control over it is not good for them. Speaking of crypto and governments, pro Bitcoin Senator Lummis to propose new crypto regulator. A Bitcoin advocate plans to introduce bill to give regulators guidance on cryptocurrency. We talked about this. This is something that Brian Armstrong from Coinbase has proposed quite often, and I think that if this is something that can kind of take hold, or maybe this is his influence kind of grabbing a hold of things a little bit, I think that that's a pretty bullish sign for it too. I know we don't love regulations and governments toiling in our affairs, but the fact of the matter is, if you live in the States, or Canada is tied pretty closely to them too, regulation exists. More is coming, as we discussed with the CPAs last night. Even more is coming for NFTs on top of that, and it does behoove us to support people that are viewing it in a positive light, and want to incentivize people to participate and come to the country to participate.
So the reason I love Ethereum is because I don't think you can regulate it. And I know governments are going to regulate how people behave and what they can do by locking down the means of control that they do control, whether it be internet ports or whether it be traditional banking, which eventually your crypto has to get to if you want to spend it. For the most part, we know that that's changing a little bit. But I think that while governments will do anything they can, the true nature of Ethereum, and the reason why I love gas and why I'm such an L1 purist, is because it is not, there's no ability to regulate it. You cannot regulate Ethereum. So all these attempts are fine. I think if any government ever pushed hard enough to really cut off the means of accessing these things, people would leave. This is financial freedom for such a large swath of people, and the people in their lives are going to see this, and more people are going to gravitate towards it, and anything governments do to try to stop it, I think, is futile in the long run.
Yeah, I saw a pretty hilarious post on I think it was Twitter or something, that was like a news article that says the new trend for millennials and younger is instead of starting families and owning things, they're now buying houses but with their friends, and like in co-ownership or whatever. And it was like this like positive spin, like, oh cool, like kids are buying houses together now and enjoying it together. And like somebody else responded like, how many times do we just need to scream out that we're just fucking poor, right? Like you can't own the house by yourself. We're not having families and kids because like shit is just too expensive. And I only bring that up because you mentioned financial freedom, and what that entails. But it's funny to see the spin on it by the media. I'm not like a huge anti-media fake news person or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, financial freedom is the goal, and enabling politicians that are moving up through the ranks. And here's the thing, right? Like honestly, politicians are always going to exist. We need them. Like governments are going to be a thing unless you're a pure anarchist, and they exist too. They're pretty big in the Bitcoin community, honestly. But some people think that this is a hot take. I don't think it's ridiculous, but I think we should actually pay politicians more. And I'm not talking in terms of like lobbying or like side deals or under the table or anything, but like I just feel like there's no incentive for young people that could be crypto millionaires to get into politics, because you're looking at maybe $100,000 salary versus the potential of making millions, tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. And these bright minds that are very forward thinking, they're not going to waste their time being a politician and making change for the positive for everybody. And I just think that it's unfortunate.
There's a reason Silicon Valley attracts the best talent, not just in this country, but in the world. And it's because they pay the best. And you can be cynical and you could be pie in the sky idealist and hope for utopia, or you can just look at the plain facts. People who build the best products are well compensated for it. And that is just not the case in government. So I completely agree with this. You said the president should be paid $100 million a year. And boy, would pearls be clutched on every side of the aisle if this was suggested. But shit, look at the talent you'd be able to attract. All that talent that's going to private companies and working on the bottom line could actually go to governments and work on the social line. So I think the world has become a very strange place.
You would also
In
make
the
them more
1980s,
immune to corruption and stuff too, right? Like, it's not like you're sitting there making
yeah,
$100,000
exactly.
and somebody comes into a back room, like smoky, shady, dim lights, and slides you an envelope with $1 million in it, right? Like, you're incentivized to be on the up and up and do a great job. Sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
No, well, I was going to say now, why do Apple's products get leaked every year? It's because the people being paid $200 a week to build them in the factories get offered bribes by agents of hedge funds to leak these products early. All right. This is, unless you pay people enough to not be, to be loyal to you, they are going to do things like that. And that's why you see government corruption, because they're not well paid. Of course, they're going to go take these things. But to my point, what I was trying to say is that in the 1980s, the average cost to start a business was close to $100,000 in today's dollars. Today, the average cost to start a business is $5,000. So when we talk about how the world is different now and how financial freedom has never been easier to attain, it's a double-edged sword. It has never been easier in human history for anybody, no matter what walk of life they come from, to become a millionaire. It has also never been harder for anybody, no matter what walk of life they come from, to earn a middle-class living. So this is the dichotomy that's happened here. You have this situation where becoming a millionaire has never been easier. But if you just want to, like you said, own a house, have a family, live a middle class life, that's never been harder.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you're not saying that as though there's anything wrong with it. It is just that opportunity to have, quote unquote, the American dream, where you're two and a half kids, you got your nice house with your picket fence, and it really
Right.
is becoming a situation where you're either like gonna make it or it's gonna be very tough for you. And we've even seen just in the price of groceries and stuff like that just go up and up and up, which is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I just think that when it comes down to it, paying the president of the United States, who is arguably the most important person on the face of the planet, an actual like great salary to incentivize, like, obviously they have tons and tons of perks, but all of a sudden you make it a potential choice between someone who could potentially be the next CEO of Apple, or somebody who could be make $100 billion off the next great startup. There's going to be an incentivization process to maybe pursue that as well. And if there's some pretty good tiers in the levels of politics, I think you'd see a lot more promising people. We always say, oh, so many politicians, they're completely inept. Well, like, yeah, because maybe that's their best option. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Anyways, we don't. Yeah.
It's completely true. Yeah.
We don't have to talk about politics anymore. That's probably the longest political discussion we've had on this show, but it's such an interesting topic. The long and short of it is, I'm glad that we're seeing some of these longer standing politicians start to switch over, whether or not that's through lobbying or their interns and stuff like that, work the staffers influence kind of seeping over on the right track, if nothing else. Another really cool article that that we pulled up was Kraken NFT marketplace could let users borrow funds against CryptoPunks. In a recent interview, Kraken CEO Jesse Powell outlined his vision for the crypto exchange's incoming NFT market space. And I think that this is just absolutely the dream for most people, especially if you have one of these NFTs that has blown up, you got in early, and has now become a very, very large portion of your net worth. You might not be faced with the tough decision of parting ways with something that you've become partial to as your profile picture and your identity, but rather being able to leverage loans against it so that you can, actually have some money from it.
One of my big themes for 2022 is going to be turning e-liquid assets liquid. And I think that it is one of the extremely disruptable areas of this market. We know how illiquid NFTs become, especially when volume leaves. And I believe this is an example of how NFTs are going to be turned liquid. Until this moment, we've had some NFT loan abilities, but it was really set up like a pawn shop where you put your NFT up as collateral, and if you can't pay the loan back, you lose your NFT. I assume Kraken is going to be a little more traditional, where maybe you would be forced to sell the NFT and pay back the loan versus they just get to keep the whole thing. I don't quite know how they will set it up, but I think that this is a huge area for disruption in 2022 is loans, fractionalization, turning these illiquid assets liquid.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's important too, right? Like it's a step in the right direction. That's, I think, one of the ultimate goals about DeFi and now NFTs is to be able to have that illiquid asset be a source of liquidity for you. But I mean, it's on the right track.
Now let's talk about blue chips for a second, because I did not see the Kraken CEO list Bored Apes, Cool Cats, Kaijus, Cyberkongs, or any of the other quote unquote blue chips that I hear people call blue chips all the time. There is only going to be one NFT in the beginning people are willing to collateralize loans against. And yes, maybe apes will be included in that as well. But this is why I like to be very, very strict with my definition of blue chip, because there has to be some sort of recognizable and basically quantifiable intrinsic, not extrinsic value that a bank or an exchange can actually ascribe to these things. And I really think CryptoPunks are the only thing that fit that bill right now. And I okay, maybe apes after this year do as well, but it's a very, very small club that you could.
You think more like a Fidenza would fit in there as well? A Beeple?
Yeah, I do think some Grail art blocks and some one of ones of, say, an X copy or a Beeple, I do think those could be collateralized as well, and those would be considered blue chips. But a lot of these collections, I mean, you see, Cyberkongs fell 80% after they had that really big run in the froth. And it's not that they won't be blue chips or they aren't elites. It's that if you're loaning against that type of volatility, it's going to be either a very, very high interest rate or you're going to get a very small loan relative to what you think the value of this NFT is. Whereas I think CryptoPunks, you can safely value them at about 25 ETH and they're never.
Oh shit. Hold on one sec. I clicked a bad button here.
Uncopy.
Hey, I did it. I pressed the wrong thing there.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff. With the illiquid, like, if you're taking on these margins and or loans and these things need to be liquidated, it can be a little bit tough. But yeah, it's I agree with CryptoPunks being the one that's being chosen right now. And like you said, Bored Apes will probably get there, but let's give them a little bit more time.
Sure.
Cool. Let's talk Sos Coin. this was something that popped up, I think, this morning. It's done by 9 by 9 by 9. Who's that on Twitter?
Yeah, this is a an NFT. I don't know if you want to call him an influencer, but certainly a whale and trader deep in a couple DAOs whose names are escaping me right now. He is a member of MVHQ. This is a very upstanding member of the community. This SOS coin started popping up on my stream, I think
Everywhere.
4 a.m. or 3 a.m. And this is this is everywhere. And these airdrops, your first thing you do is you go and see if anybody, like, as an example, Keyboard Monkey, and shout out to him. He audited this contract and was telling everybody it's safe. There doesn't seem to be anything malicious in it. As we know, you have to sign your wallet to accept any of these coins or airdrops. So you need to be very careful about what you connect your hot wallet to. But after reading tweets for a few hours and seeing multiple people I trust audit this contract, it does seem to be safe to claim your SOS coins, which are an airdrop calculated based on how much you have used OpenSea. So once you go to this site, connect your wallet, and claim your coins, it will spit out a cool little infographic that will show you how much you've spent at OpenSea, what you've paid in fees, what your first buy was. It's very slick, it's very good looking, and it's pretty cool. Depending on how much you spent and how long you've been on and how many trades you make, there are multipliers for each action that determine how many coins you get. And right now it's trading at about a 600,000th of a cent. And yeah, this looks like a very interesting project, especially when you look at the name SOS. Well, what could that stand for? You have any speculation, Cobain?
None other than what you maybe alluded to in the pre-show, is that save OpenSea or some kind of derivative of that might make sense.
Yeah, I think that somebody, and it almost felt prescient, and I'm wondering if this person is either on the SOS team or close with the SOS team, because last night he goes, hey, isn't OpenSea open source? Why hasn't anybody forked it with 0 fees yet? Right? Now, I wouldn't think it would be 0 fees. I would think that what you would do is fork it and then split the fees up amongst everybody in the DAO, proportional to how many coins they own, a la Sushi. I don't Shoyu, which is Sushi's exchange, which was going to pay out X Sushi to people who own Sushi Coin. So that's basically it. The fees are redistributed through the DAO. I don't know if this is what's happening with SOS, but I do believe SOS stands for Save OpenSea. Given that the airdrop is based on how much you've used OpenSea, I think it's pretty obvious here that everybody has wanted an OpenSea token. People have been screaming, hey, I've spent $1 million in fees on your site. Are you going to throw me anything? Well, take it upon Web3 builders to go do it themselves. But I could very easily see this being a hard fork away from OpenSea, upon which the token holders receive all fees from NFT transactions. Calling it here now.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I think the biggest knock that everybody has against OpenSea is that they're taking a 2.5% cut on everything that's happening, and they still can't even keep their servers up or fix floor prices or list floor prices properly. It's a very lagged system, and we all know how much they're making. Like you said, this is all speculation, but the timing with some of the stuff that you saw on Twitter does seem pretty convenient. The other thing I will say is this wasn't a mad dash to claim your SOS tokens. This wasn't like for the next 24 hours, anybody that's ever participated in OpenSea gets an airdrop. Let's go, like, pump the shit out of it. You have until June 30th of 2022 to claim your tokens, after which any remaining tokens will be sent to the treasury. So right off the hop, there is basically a 6-month time frame that they're working on right now. So there was nothing urgent about this, and it seems to be something that maybe has a little bit more under the hood. It wasn't very expensive to claim. I'm not going to sell mine. I did think about actually buying more, but that's not financial advice. That would have just been a shot in the dark for this being something bigger than it is. But yeah, cool nonetheless that this popped up, and that little infographic that you mentioned is such a smart idea because it's so shareable. It's like that Spotify Wrapped thing, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
for
Yeah.
better or for worse. Like, you know, I saw how much I've actually spent on NFTs, and I had that little like, oh wow, that was like not what I was expecting, but that's okay. But yeah, it's been popping up everywhere. It was immediately the talk of the Degen Dojo, and I'm going to be watching it for sure. I have no desire to sell it. It's not a super large amount of money for me right now, so I'm just going to hold it.
I think a lot of people are looking at the fact that, gas is very low right now. So it is a good time to claim something like this. But for most people, the claim is going to be pretty close to what you pay in gas, if not, the same or maybe even a little more you pay in gas, depending on when you claim. But remember, people were mining Bitcoin at a loss for years. Okay. You'll probably get 50 to 100 million of these things, and there is a real name behind it. So I wouldn't, instead of viewing this as a free money airdrop, look at it as cheap a bet you can make on an OS competitor, because that's really what I think this is here. It's pretty obvious. I guarantee SOS stands for Save OpenSea, or Suck It OpenSea. I don't know, one or the other, but this is this seems like a very obvious hold if it's not costing you anything. I mean, if you spend $70 to claim these things, we spend a lot more on an NFT that we speculate on and goes to zero. I think, given the name behind this, and Scott has very good instincts, and our fear leader Scott knows this influencer better than I trust Scott's judgment here, and yeah, I'm holding my coins as well.
I've heard there might be an opportunity to actually do an interview with him too, which would be absolutely amazing. I'd
Oh,
love
nice.
to learn more about this. You know, one of the things that I'm reading on this is, and you know, we mentioned it kind of being the antithesis to OpenSea, is that within the DAO, 20% of SOS is allocated to the Open DAO. It will, and the first line is compensate verified scam victims on OpenSea with SOS. Scams are very tricky to verify, but provided they can be. This is interesting because that's a lot more than OpenSea has ever committed to doing. And there's oftentimes
So
that
this
they.
is a Bored Ape initiative, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, let's look at the simple scam mechanics that OpenSea still to this day barely is able to address, and that's as simple as their fucking search bar. How hard is it to find a top trending project that just dropped and has 300 or 400 ETH in volume over the span of a couple of hours? You search in it and all you get is just a fucking dozen scam drops. How many people lose out to that shit all the time?
All the time.
All the time. It's
There are
crazy. It's
certain, yeah.
inexcusable that they can't, with the amount of money that they make, and just take 2.5% of the NFT volume that's been traded on OpenSea since January. It's billions of fucking dollars, and their search bar is barely functionable.
There's quite a few things we point out on a regular basis we think OpenSea could do to greatly improve security, and we're still waiting for them to do that. And just yesterday, a Grail ape was stolen in a social engineering attack that we haven't gotten full color on yet. One of the strangest ones I've ever heard. And if this
This
is
was interesting,
just
yeah.
and I've seen people. Yeah, and if this is just a coin to help people who get rugged on OpenSea, I'm a lot more bearish on it. If that is really all that it is here,
Yeah,
because I've seen other coins attempt this. Some DAO, yeah, was being
oh,
put
sorry, go.
together to compensate people who get scammed on OpenSea or whatever it is. But I cannot even believe what happened yesterday. Now, I do not know this person. This is apparently the sixth largest Bored Ape holder in the world. He has over 50 of them.
Is that right? I didn't even
He,
realize that.
yep, yep.
Oh shit.
He is, yeah, and he is a big mahaf within that community. People respect and revere him. Well, somebody with a sailor ape. These are grails
Oh,
that
you're
have
talking
these
about
sailor.
Machi Big Brother. Maki Big Brother.
Machi Big Brother. Was there another
Oh.
one you were thinking of?
No, I thought you meant the
No,
guy that
so
got
listen to
scammed.
this.
I was like, this dude has 50 apes and he
Well,
got scammed like this? Okay, sorry.
no.
Continue.
Well, no. So this guy, Machi Big Brother, who is this sixth largest ape holder in the world, his account apparently, allegedly, had been hacked and taken over for days, if not weeks.
Yeah.
This person had been conferring with this account, which is known to be this person's account, for days, if not weeks, right? And was convinced to let this person, and again, I don't even know what this means, but to let this person hold their ape for them or something. So he transfers the Bored Ape to this influencer's wallet, and within a few minutes, a 77 WETH offer is accepted on it. The ape is gone, and the money is gone, and Big Machi puts out a tweet saying, "I've been hacked." Now, why did it take days and weeks for this influencer to indicate his account was hacked? And then how did he get control of it back minutes after this Grail ape was sold for 77 weeks? This is the strangest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
It is bizarre, but I think that there is there might be something there that we should, like, if the hacker made his way into the account and didn't change the password and got rid of that notification that your account has been logged into from a different spot, he could have just been sitting there hanging out on it, not doing anything with it other than talking in the DMs with this guy and deleting the DMs as they happened, right? So for the other guy,
Jeez.
they would never ever know. I hate to say that this is a very smart attack, but it sounds like it was incredibly sophisticated. And there's a really good opportunity there that Machi Big Brother had no clue that this was going on his account, because that's doable. This is why you need 2FA. This is why you need email alerts on everything, so that you can keep track of all of that stuff. But yeah, this guy, the Captain Frozen Buffalo. It sounded like he gave the just gave the Bored Ape over to who he thought was Mackie Big Brother. It sounds like the hacker had a sale already lined up for this thing, and they just executed it basically immediately. And or there was
Don't know
no, there
what
would have been a WETH offer on the ape, and he accepted it.
I don't know what the people who started Bored Apes did in a past life. I could only imagine it was their ancestor that traded Babe Ruth from the Red Sox to the Yankees in 1923, because I do not understand the curse that is on this board. Have you ever seen this happen to a cool cat? You realize the cool cat community are not sophisticated NFT investors. This was a 0.02 mint in summer. These are all normies that own these cats. You've never seen it happen to a cool cat, right? What is going on? I'm beginning to think the Bored Apes are cursed. It's the Yankee curse.
Yeah, but
I don't even know.
dude,
This is crazy.
I don't get it, because like I feel like I've known you on a pretty personal level for the last year. If I was holding
Right.
a $500,000 NFT, $1 million NFT, and you were like, "Yeah, just let me hold it. Let me touch it." I'd be like, "Fuck you. I love you, dude, but fuck you.
Let me hold it. Like, yeah,
Let me
this
put it
is
in
the
my
thing, and they're
profile
all.
picture." I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It
It just
makes
seems
zero
too
sense to
easy.
me. And the problem is, people think they're a lot smarter than they are. We know that trying to do, whether it's a tax scheme or some sort of wash trade to inflate the value. We know people come up with the stupidest fucking schemes when it comes to NFTs, like purchasing your own punk for $500 million from yourself. There's also, when we see a story like this, I always think, is there some weird explanation behind the scenes of something stupid these people were trying to do that just either blew up, or I don't, it is the most bizarre thing to me that this happens a few times a week, all within the Bored Ape collection. I wouldn't even join that server. What is going on?
Okay, like,
don't go in that server.
I'm not one that typically goes down the conspiracy rabbit holes, but is this just like tax evasion? Like,
that's what I'm saying. No, I really think
come up with
a
this
lot of this is morons,
right?
Exactly. I think these are morons trying to avoid taxes. This is what I think a lot of these are. And I just don't know. I don't know how many of them are real. And I don't think we get the full story on a lot of them because just shit doesn't make sense. Like, no one would say, I don't care if it's a Bored Ape. You don't just send $500,000 to a random stranger on the internet to hold for you for any reason. What is this?
Unless this is like absolute peanuts to you, and then you're just not going on Twitter and saying it. You'd probably just tuck your tail.
Well, the guy's life is wrecked.
Oh, it's awful. I don't want to rub salt in the wounds of anybody here. Like,
no. I'm saying
guy,
he doesn't.
But seriously, what the fuck?
No, this seems like it wrecked him. Like, this does not seem like he's a wealthy dude and he just lost one of his apes. Now, Machi, on the other hand, with 50, I mean, he better give this guy a fucking ape. If you don't give this guy a fucking ape, Jesus Christ. I mean, did you see Keyboard Monkey the other day? This fucking mensch, this god amongst men who is a salty shit poster most of the time. So if you didn't know him well, you'd probably just think he was an asshole. He stumbles into the Art Blocks Discord the other day randomly, was just in there seeing what was going on, when all of a sudden on their listing bot, a Grail Spiral Fidenza goes up for sale for 50 ETH. Mind you, the Grail Fidenzas have a 250 ETH floor. So this was really weird. He thought somebody was like paper handing for instant liquidity, and he immediately bought it. He found out it had been hacked. It had been stolen. Somebody sold it. He immediately returned it to the person who it was stolen from. No questions asked. Didn't ask for any ETH. Just immediately returned it to that person. So shout out
on something and then didn't get the ETH back.
Yeah, no. So listen to what happened. He spent it on this thing. He found out the thing he bought was stolen. Somebody had stolen it. And when he found out who it was stolen from, he returned the Fidenza to them for nothing. No questions asked. Jesus. Here you go. Fuck. So, Keyboard Monkey, you are a mensch. I love you, and you're what's good about this crypto world we're in.
That's an incredible story. I didn't hear that at all. Speaking of art blocks, we finally making it to WGMI. That was a good little riff. Not a lot going on other than art blocks, and they are on a tear over the last day. Maybe the bottom is in. Maybe enough tax loss harvesting has occurred, and people decided to buy up some floors. Not huge volume on anything, but definitely everything saw some, not everything, a bunch of projects saw some sweeping going on, and the 1 day floors are up, a lot of them up over 35-40%. Elevated Deconstructions is the recipient of a plus 160% floor over the last day. Important to note, all the other ones are still down on the 30-day charts. So the floor is still depressed. This isn't a full rebound, but somebody or a group of people are interested in buying now.
So I bought a bunch of art blocks in February. They proceeded to go anywhere from 20 to 100x at the top of this like frothy market. And then when they fell 80%, they fell to 5 to 10 times what I paid for them. So in this like this awful depressed bear market, all my NFTs fell to 10x what I paid for them. And in the first quarter, as we called 2 weeks ago, Gen Art bottoming, we didn't say it would be an instant rally, but I just thought the FUD was so extreme. people saying that art blocks had killed the whole movement. Gen art was never coming. But I mean, these are the loudest buy signals you will ever get. When people declare something dead and gone, especially something hedge funds had just plunked hundreds of millions of dollars into. When people declare that dead and gone, those are your strongest buy signals. I think that the first quarter of this year is going to be parabolic in relation to art blocks and quite a few other collections, and we're beginning to see it now. I think the tax loss harvesting in art blocks had been occurring since September, so I don't know if it's going to see the same effect as many of these other collections are here in the last week of the year.
Pre-market, this elevated deconstructions had 3 sales yesterday. The floor went from 25 ETH or 23 ETH, 29 ETH, 30 ETH. It's now at 60 ETH. And the floor is very thin. We have a 5 to a 650 ETH floor. But no, it's funny that when you're looking at that, the floor is not a good indication of what's happening here. One purchase would bump more than double the floor price. So, but yeah,
exactly.
obviously some activity going on.
But you could argue that also is a good. Okay, so you go to Sotheby's, you spend $100 million on a Van Gogh. You don't know how much that Van Gogh is worth 2 days later. There's no OpenSea.
No.
You don't get to see what the floor on other Van Goghs go to. That Van Gogh could be worth $5 the next day if nobody is willing to buy it, right?
Only willing what somebody is willing to pay for it, right?
Exactly. So when you see, it doesn't matter if it's 3 art blocks that got the floor up. If there are these whales dipping their toes back into this $1 million art, that is a very bullish indication. So it's just one of these weird things, and I talk about this with art blocks all the time. Having a Grail art block is great because you may be worth millions on paper, but it could take months for that to sell after you've put it up for sale. So, and it's the same with paintings at Sotheby's. I mean, these don't have instant liquidity or instant buyers. You got to find them. So hopefully we're finding them again.
Yeah, seem to be on the right track. The floors have gone down, like you said so far, that for somebody with a high amount of liquidity that's already set up to go for next year, this could be a buy for them. And I think we're seeing a lot of projects outside of art blocks that could be buys or soon to be buys as well. We had a little bit of a debate in the dojo this morning about like Galactic Apes. I just cannot believe that it is sitting at a 0.17 floor right now. And obviously I have them.
I'll tell you right here.
Fucking like the art is so good on them. Even if it's
Gapes
just
are a huge
art.
buy here. I've been bearish on Gapes for months since Gapes came out. Everyone tried to get me to buy at 1 and 2 ETH. I said no, and now I am bullish on Gapes. So
did you pick any
it's
up
all
yet?
about timing, people. No, I was shopping yesterday. I kind of like the rainbows and the pink tangs, but I'm not in a hurry. I don't think they're gonna quickly lift off the floor here. So I've been shopping and watching, but yeah, I mean I love the art on the Gapes. I just think that you wait for your opportunity in NFTs because everything comes in eventually, as we can see.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, really quickly today, let's just talk about some projects that we've mentioned in the past. Lucky Zeros, one that we brought up, did actually end up minting out. We did say it was slow going and that the pre-sale needed some volume to pick up, but that we were interested to see how it ended up doing with the high quality 3D cute art. And I'm happy to report back, but unhappy to report back that I didn't mint any, and I fucking forgot to. But it's doing pretty well on OpenSea right now. It's about 2x the mint price, sitting at 0.105. It was a 0.06 mint, which is a little bit expensive in this market, but they're doing okay pre-reveal. So probably won't be picking up any right now on the secondary, but it was at least fun to watch it.
This is my wheelhouse. Okay, slow mints with great art and a good team that people don't understand, right? And we talked about this the day of the show. It did not look like it was minting quickly. It was a little pricier than a lot of the stuff that was cooking recently. And there was just something about it. 1, it was 3D. We're entering a 3D meta. 2, it was cute. We were firmly in the cute meta thanks to Cool Man, Alien Friends, and Little Lemons, right? And it was very high quality 3D art. When you look in, you could see the textures very well, that type of thing. Plus, it was Shiba Inus, and we know people love dogs and Shiba Inus and Doge and all that. This seemed to check all the boxes. It was going to be a slow mint. I'm not surprised it minted out. And I mean, they look great. I think that there are rare PFP projects, rare 3D projects that are PFPable. And these have the boldness and simplicity that make them PFPable, but they also have those great 3D textures when you look in close. The other bullish thing was that this seems to be a legitimate animation studio that has bigger plans beyond just giving you this initial JPEG. So I'm not surprised that it minted out. I knew it was going to take a little time, and I want to shout out my Kaiju Kings. That was where I saw that alpha. And yeah, very cool project, and it's doing well. 2x from mint. Right?
These are, yeah, they're not a ton of volume. Oh, it's not bad actually. Pre-reveal 64, 65 ETH. But yeah, I'll watch for reveal. If they for some reason drop low, I'll maybe start picking some up on the secondary on reveal. But yeah, I mean, this is such a weird time to be buying and trading. Definitely not the strategy to try and hit home runs right now, unless you're playing with tons of liquidity and you want to just take some flyers. But yeah, they look
well.
Really good.
We talk about mints being your best option, especially when you're low liquid right now. This is that one brief time a year when you should be hitting the secondary as hard as you can, if you can. I think that tax loss harvesting is essentially done. I think everything is so primed to start. I mean, forget even buyers. You know how many delistings are going to happen on January 1st? Okay. This is going to be a very quick. The bull market. Yeah, the bull market may be so quick in that first week that it looks like a bull trap. We may see this very violent pop in the first week, and then a very violent retracement back to these exact levels, just for a quick shake and bake to freak people out. Then we continue the real parabolic move. But I just think that even now it feels like the tax loss harvesting is just about over, and you should be hitting that secondary in products you love. I keep buying these fucking creature toads.
No,
and they're already up infinity% from what I paid.
This is such a great point, actually, just because, you know, the second that the clock flips from December 31st to January 1st of the next year, the incentive to sell anything at a loss is almost infinitely less for the next, call it 330 days, right?
Yes.
Unless you need
exactly
liquidity. Well, okay, maybe not 330 days. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we're looking towards more something like April, when taxes are actually due, and some people actually need the liquidity to pay those said taxes. That might be another precarious time. But apart from that, the incentive to sell at a loss is dramatically lower. Now, some people are just ruthless. There's no emotional attachment. They're just willing to get rid of them if the trade didn't work out for them. That's fine. But all of a sudden, there is a much greater desire to just wait and see what happens with these over the next 6 months, the next 9 months, especially with like NFT marketplaces like Kraken and Coinbase, who's going to, promote the shit out of it. And they're going to have partnered projects, and you're probably sitting there going, ooh, maybe a couple of these that I'm thinking about selling for a loss could be one of them. And now all of a sudden your mindset shifts from tax loss harvesting to profit in the span of, a minute, that countdown.
Yeah, exactly. And, this isn't just NFTs. Understanding macro capital flows in all markets is a huge tool or arrow in your quiver, right? Because last year, when did NFTs crash? March and April. All right. There is a reason for that. This is an e-liquid market where people quickly need money to pay the tax man. So to R2's point, yeah, we're probably going to dip pretty damn hard into March and April, especially if we go parabolic in January and February. So next year, I hope everybody in September and October is figuring to themselves, maybe it'd be a lot better to raise a bunch of liquidity here and go on vacation until December than try to play all the new mints that come out. Because if you were super liquid into the beginning of this month, you could have Weth offered your way to be a millionaire at this point. And there's still crazy deals out there to be had by people tax loss harvesting. So be liquid next November and get ready for this. These large macro capital flows are something that you should follow.
One of the things that I love doing doing this show with you is like earlier before we started the show was just like, oh, what do we have to talk about here? Mints are slow. There's not a lot of action on the secondary, and like I'm looking at the clock, and now we're already an hour into the recording and just starting to talk about some projects. So I love it. Because at the end of the day, there is just so much you can actually talk about, and it doesn't have to be like this floor is up, this floor is down, and this project's minting. Like it's such a great space with so much activity. I do just want to touch on a couple things before we get to the Q&A. I already see Venom has his hand up, so we will bring you up the second that we are into the Q&A session. But Space Yetis was one that we've been looking at, has had some talk in there. The art looks great, but it is struggling right now. The minting process has not gone well. It looks like the pre-sale is about to end and public sale is starting shortly, but they're pretty expensive, 0.08. And as of right now, 138 of them have been minted. According to OpenSea, that's not great for a 4,400 mint project. So they are struggling.
I mean, 4,400 supply, traders instantly go, ooh, this is going to be a nice cook. You're even willing to pay 0.08 when it's such a low supply like that. But I think that they had severe deficiencies in how they put together their whitelist. At least this is what I'm getting from the outside. They seem to try to whitelist the whole thing. And as we know, especially in a risk-off environment, which is what we are in right now, people look to see what other people do before doing anything. Unless you have garnered a crazy amount of hype to where there will be secondary demand, even if you whitelisted the whole thing. And even in that case, I still wouldn't whitelist the whole thing. But let's just say you had that. Okay, that would probably be the only situation in which you could mint out with this type of launch setup. So I think this is another project that very strange shit was happening the week before they launched. 0x Inarashi, who is a huge person within the mice community. He's not an original mice dev, but he has done a lot of work for them. Projects he has attached to tend to do well. He was one of the main devs on Zen Apes, which was a pretty successful launch over the last month. And he seemed to have a problem with that team where right towards the end, there was some sort of disagreement and he left. I couldn't get a ton of clarity on what happened or if he had left permanently or was just leaving the team and still supporting the project. Either way, all this put together seems to have resulted in a failure. I mean, I don't know if with only that many minted in the pre-sale, if anyone's even going to touch the public. I mean, who's gonna go near that?
No.
This team now, in my opinion, this team now, in my opinion, has to do the unfortunate thing we say all teams have to do at this point, which is going to be reducing price, reducing supply, and rewarding anybody who minted those first 194. So at the very least, they're whole into whatever you do to respond to this. I just hope they respond and they just don't leave those 194 mints out there to die on the vine.
Yeah, there's a couple takeaways in this, and this being the first like sustained NFT bull run that we've had. I think a lot of projects are going to learn that maybe launching into the last week or two of December is not the best choice. Especially, we keep saying taxes, but it's a thing. Nobody wants to be risk on right now, especially at that mint price. The other thing too is, like, as we've mentioned before, whitelisting everybody can be a precarious situation combined with the other factors. Traders and buyers like to have options because it gives them the ability to make decisions before everybody else does. That's what the pre-sale is for. As a project manager or somebody that is, releasing these things, you don't want to give people too many options because it gives them the option not to mint. You lose that ability to create any FOMO around your project when everybody has the power, right? Like it's just one of
And
those things that
look,
all of a
yeah,
sudden you have an entire project that is in the hands of anybody that got onto the pre-sale list, and the second that a large majority of them, or even a small majority of them, have either lost interest, have gone completely risk off, or maybe never believed in the project the way that you think they did, all of a sudden your entire mint is dead because nobody wants to go first. Nobody wants to
you
mint serial number 12.
right. And this is I think self-inflicted wounds that we talk about all the time, and it's why projects need to not be hasty. And really, I think that the launch dynamics are so important, and people screw with them all the time. Like it's not. You just made the point about maybe they shouldn't launch into December. Well, if you're gonna launch in December, you have to know who your buyers are, right? Because in the summer, your buyers were random people that didn't know anything about NFTs. The froth was high. Everything was minting out. Everything was trading above mint. It was euphoria. Right now, the only people buying NFTs are traders, period. So you either have to not mint into that, or you lean into it by making your mint 15 max per transaction, 0.02. You're going to sell out. I mean, think about it, right? That's what traders want. And if you want to sell out in this environment, you give them that. If you don't want to sell out in this environment, you go with the method that worked during the froth. Now, you could either wait until that comes back, or you can adjust your plan. And that's look at the mints that are successful right now. They all let you mint as many as you want, and they're all very low priced. So.
Yeah, then it is working for those. Lemon Friends was 15 max mint per wallet, 0.025, and it didn't fly off the shelves, but it did very well. Last thing I wanted to touch on, just because it's been doing so well lately too, is the Veve and the Disney projects. Marvel is doing a Christmas Groot drop today. I think that's actually coming up very shortly. I just saw this kind of in the last minute while we were preparing for the show. But Guardians of the Galaxy drop happening on Veve. Veve's been tough. It has been incredibly botted, but if you were able to get your hands on stuff, it's been doing pretty well. I think you mentioned your flipper managed to get his hands on a Mickey drop and flipped it from $660 to $600, something like that.
I think he's holding, because he does take my advice somewhat, and we do know that I'm very big on these mainstream things, and I think they're all holds. I mean, whether we're talking Bud or Pep. I mean, do you know what the first Pepsi NFT is going to be worth in 30 years? And I know nobody is thinking with a 30-year time horizon right now, but hey, lose a few of those assets in your hidden folder. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. This one is centered around Groot. And Groot is
Ooh.
just like, the epitome of like cute, iconic, in a huge IP. So yeah, it looks like it's starting in about 15 minutes. So go check
Oh
that
my
out.
God, Groot. Wait, so Groot and Christmas? This is like too much for me to even handle. Can you buy Veve with credit cards?
Yeah,
Or
it's a
is it
dollar
you have,
value, man.
oh, credit card. Oh, nice. I didn't know if it was like their weird current. I mean, it's its own chain, right? This isn't
Yeah,
ERC20, or is this Polygon?
no, it's their own chain.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know a lot about Veve. The only thing I knew was that that's where Scenarius started his NFT journey.
Yeah, we gotta
That
look
was
at Veve more often, just because it's such a
Yeah,
good
for real.
alternative way. And I mean, eventually, if Solana gets its shit together and stops just being a bunch of copy derivatives, we'll start talking about it too.
Probably, yeah. I could see that coming to them. Look, Veve, Flow, and Wax, they get the best IP. You wish that IP would show up on Ethereum.
Right. So yeah, that's really fascinating. Let's do some Q&A now, and we'll wrap it up. We'll go for another 15 minutes. We'll let people focus on the VV drop if they're participating. Also, just as a complete side note, if you want to go check this video out on YouTube and fast forward to right about now, about an hour into the video, you can watch my dog come in and completely fuck up my living room. in the background. Like honest to God, I don't know if you guys heard it, but behind me, he just started going absolutely crazy. He moved the couch behind me about 8 inches away from and now he has gone and fucked off for a nap. So appreciate that. Just trying to drive
Is this a
viewership
dog
to
or a
YouTube.
moose?
Oh my God, he's I mean, he's a puppy, right? He's just over 2 years old now. He's 60 pounds. He doesn't know his own strength, and yeah, he just went for it.
Oh,
The little pupper.
that is good stuff.
Let's check out and see if Venom still has his hands up. He does. Cool. Inviting you up
Is this
to the
an
stage.
app, the Veve, or do I go to their website? Is there an
I
iOS
believe
app?
it's an app, yeah.
Ooh.
We could do this in real time.
What's going
Venom,
on?
what's going on, man?
How you guys doing?
Great. How are
Wonderful.
you?
Good. If you guys celebrate Merry Christmas Eve,
We do.
you know, I kind of want to just jump up and say, you know, Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody who's
Christmas.
listening.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Yeah, dude.
What's your favorite?
Just,
I was gonna say, what's your favorite Christmas trees?
Christmas trees? Probably
Trees.
right. Yeah, probably gelato trees.
Yeah, love it.
I'm really liking gelato. But
Very good.
no, I wanted to kind of bring some. So first of all, Machi Big Brother is a legend. I feel really, really bad that he's going through it right now. Apparently, he got hacked. His socials got hacked, and I guess that guy kind of tossed him his Bored Ape, thinking like it was Machi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the scammer accepted an offer on his ape placed by Big Machi himself. So the ape ended up in his wallet. That's what happened. And so Machi changed my life, dude. Machi gave me fucking 9 ETH on a project that's rugged now for a rare. Like he's the dude.
Wow.
He's the dude who set me up forever. Yeah, I have so much respect for Machi Big Brother. He's a fucking legend. I'm pretty sure he's a Chinese filmmaker or film producer is actually what he does in real life. But yeah, dude, legend, and super sad for what he's going through. Obviously, he's a smart guy. I don't think that, like you were saying, it was something extremely sophisticated. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I hate to give too much credit to people that pull this shit, but it was a. If the story lines up,
there's levels.
Very smart attack.
Yeah. So I just, I want to give a shout out to Machi and whatever. He'll never probably hear this, but he changed my life, and so like, mad respect to him, and yeah. So
I'm glad you told us, because I didn't know. I'm not in the ape community, so I didn't know. But yeah, I'm glad you told us, because every indication was that Machi's a great guy, and he has 50 apes. He has no need to scam somebody out of an ape. So I don't think
he's very much. I've been in DMs with him. He actually and I talked about what he was going to offer me on this project. He's very much a nurturer of NFTs. He sank 9 ETH into Sad Frogs District, bro. He was buying that project like it was crack to him. And and it was all on the premise. It was all on the premise that he wanted the project to do better. He didn't. It was weird. Like we were talking about doing private sale at first, and he's like, "No, dude, it needs to be public, because then that will help that doesn't help the project to do a 9 ETH private sale. Like, it helps the project to have people see that shit." And yeah, dude, he's a legend. He's not someone that would just he would give one of his apes up. I know he's like that type of dude.
And so you talk.
He's getting tons of clout right now. Yeah. He's I feel bad for him. He recently, I think this is what did it to him, honestly. He recently put on IG, he got a bunch of clout from a Rolex that he just made. You guys might have seen it.
I saw that on Twitter. It actually looks like really nice. It's super clean. I'm gonna pull that up right now.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, dude. Anyway, he had a really, really amazing custom Rolex with like his M3 static ape on the back. The band is all different apes, one with laser eyes. It's interchangeable. It's a gorgeous set. Obviously, bro, people get jealous You know what I mean? Can you imagine fucking the press goes out on that watch and then he gets hacked like the next day? Or that's so sad, man. And just keep those that are close to you close, and fuck everybody else, man. I don't want to be like super divisive, but like keep your circle small, and it's just a sad thing to have to say, but yeah, dude, like I feel really bad
well
for,
said.
Yeah.
so.
Well said.
Thank you for sharing that, because we don't have any information, or like we don't have any dialogue or too much knowledge about the ape community and who Matchy is. Obviously he's an influential person, but yeah, it sounds like he got taken too, and it sucks altogether. I know we're critical of the apes. It's just one of those things, right? Like just keep your NFTs on your hardware wallet and lock that shit away. Like it's just
Yeah. People, well, now everybody's kind of speculating, dude, is his whole wallet are those 50 plus apes, are they compromised? What's gonna happen?
Oof.
So
well,
there's a
his
lot
first
of like
action should be to like completely reset like all new devices, air gapped, and figure out how to move them, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, it's just a sad thing. So hardware wallet, treasure. But anyway, Veve is trash, super hard to buy or super hard to get a drop right now. You have to buy gems. You can buy gems with Apple Pay. Yeah, just spam the shit out of the button. That's all you can really do. I was telling Scott, I've seen kids in videos. At first, I didn't know why I wasn't copying, but they'll literally use like the vibrator, like the massage vibrators to vibrate their finger to twitch the fucking to twitch the So I mean, these kids are crafty little motherfuckers, and
have you seen that free market? They literally hold their finger like a fraction of an inch off the screen, and then they use one of those ball vibrators that you use for back massages, and they hold it on their knuckle, and this thing is just like pounding the screen like maybe 100 times a second. It's hilarious.
Geez, I'll try that with my vibrator today. I just don't know if it's the right shape.
All right, boys. Enjoy your holiday. Merry Christmas. Love AlphaMint. Love you guys.
Like, I'm fucking out of here, man.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, mic drop on that one.
Yeah, he's
Merry Christmas.
On that note, anybody else want to come up? Yeah, we got Fry coming up, and then we'll finish off with Cass.
Speaking of apes, Venom, you look like you're wearing a new outfit today down there, looking very slick. I hear that's a new Bored Ape, but looking good. Just wanted to say that. Hello, Fry.
Fry, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
Doing great, man.
Wonderful.
Thanks for tuning in.
I just want to shout out.
Last night, too.
Yeah, that was great. I was gonna suggest. I didn't get to my question. I think the ultimate, tax move will be find yourself a Italian girlfriend, married to her, set up a LLC under her name. Any entity outside of Italy won't get taxed anywhere, and just trade NFTs and pay yourself a fat salary. You could pay some tax on that.
This is
the tax talk
advice,
that
not tax advice, and not marriage advice. Just a disclaimer.
Not marital advice.
Yeah.
NMA, baby, NMA.
But what I want to just say is, hi, all the Lemon friends. I hope Merry Christmas, early Christmas for everyone, and New Year's. It's a pleasure to be a part of this AlphaMint family, and I hope 2022 is going to be big years for us and lots of wealth. That's it.
Well, right back at you, Fry. That means a lot to us here at AlphaMint. You're a great part of this community. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and yours.
Yeah.
Cheers. Hopefully I can bring some alpha to the community for next year. And thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, even just being a great community member is important, right? Like, but we all have some huge wins ahead of us. I have no doubt.
Word.
Merry Christmas, dude. All right, we'll bring Cass up. If anybody else wants to throw their hands up and just come say hi as well, we can maybe go on for a little bit longer too. We'll love the holiday well wishes, and we'll say it to each and every one of you if you want.
I got my vibrator loaded, so we can. I can do the Veve while we say Merry Christmas.
Are you using your microphone through your phone too?
What?
No, nothing.
Who?
Cass.
No. What? Oh.
Good to see we haven't scared you off yet. I don't know if you're muted. Having some mic issues. I'm not sure.
Hello.
Yeah, what?
All right. Well, this is the perfect opportunity for me to sing a Christmas carol.
Oh, he bailed. He bailed.
No.
I see in the AM show chat.
He's probably resetting.
Dirty Milk saying "Yo, what?" and Drip Cult responding with "Yeah, what?" Are we yeah whatting to the vibrator talk?
Did they miss
there
that?
He is.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
Good morning.
Hello?
We got you.
GM. No, I'm in the middle of doing Christmas shopping, which is absolutely mad at the moment.
I believe.
Are you in the lemon BM? Are you in the lemon BMW doing your Christmas? Okay, if everyone in the audience does not know, our man Cass is such a fan of the Little Lemons NFT. He went out the other day and bought an 8 Series lemon BMW.
Actually?
No, I didn't. I actually wrapped the BMW. It was a 3 Series, and I wrapped it. I got so gassed. I thought, you know what? I thought stuff it. I was in the garage, and I thought, yeah. I was in the garage, and I was looking at the car, and I was looking at my lemons, and I thought, fuck it, let me just wrap the car. So spent 2 days, wrapped it yellow, and yeah, and gave it to the missus to drive around.
I love it. I love it. This is it. This is what lemons are inspiring.
Oh, trust me. The one thing I wanted to say to you guys is Merry Christmas, man. And just reiterating what Fry was saying, that I've said it a few times, and I've said it to other people, that I've never felt so loved and part of such a community as what I do with AlphaMint. And I love everyone in there. And it's amazing when I go to different servers and different Discords, and then you see someone from AlphaMint, and everyone knows each other when we're fucking about trying to get whitelist. It's just super cool, man. And well done to everyone who's made this community, because this is ride or die community. It really is. And I could see massive things happening for all of us as long as we stick together and keep moving. And I also want to thank you two for every morning taking the time of day to do this show, because I know for myself, it helps me a lot. And I can gather for other people as well. It really helps other people as well, just to kind of get through the space and get through your day. And honestly, like, my heart goes out to every single member here when I say Merry Christmas to you all. And I see you guys as family. So that's all I wanted to say, really. Apart from Renown, which seems pretty cool, but that kind of takes away the whole Christmas spirit. So I'm going to leave that for another day.
Dude, honestly,
that warms my heart, Cass.
I want to say thank you. We've had so many really, really kind, overly kind DMs, people on Twitter just randomly shouting us out to some bigger influencers that are asking questions and stuff like that. And it's incredible to feel that kind of love, because we just started with I made a post on Twitter the other day, but Free Market and I have been talking about doing something like this for a long time. Originally it was going to be centered around BitClout, which is now DSO, and obviously that kind of took its downturn. My work life in restaurants in a previous life got really busy, and things just kind of fell off. But we finally found this community and centered around NFTs, which are definitely a mainstay, and we took the opportunity, and instantly blown away by the fact that so many people were tuning into us just to listen to us talk every single morning. It started off with 10-15 people, and even that was thrilling to us, because a lot of times these things start off with 1 or 2 people, or you're even just talking to an empty screen. But the fact that people kept coming, and it just more and more every day. Like 30 is today for Christmas Eve. Like I'm blown away that on Christmas Eve 30 people are taking the time to spend up here with us. So like, thank you so much for that, and thank you to everyone, including yourself, for the just the incredibly kind words. If it's not apparent how much that means to me, I hope it is.
Oh no, it definitely is, dude. And just to let you know, with that fact of the whole 30 on Christmas Eve, when my missus found out I was on this call, she had the biggest go at me, saying, "What are you here for? This is meant to be for Christmas. This ain't meant for nothing else." And I was literally like, babe, listen, yeah, you see, I don't really go and see family. Yeah, this is my family to say Merry Christmas to. So let me just say Merry Christmas to them quickly, yeah, and then we'll get back to Christmas for ourselves.
Amazing.
So,
well, I
yeah,
wish you
on
luck.
that note,
I wish you luck today. Good luck. Rest
hey,
in
no,
peace.
I should. Nah, I should be fine, man. She's all right. She's just
So
literally
tell
looking
me,
at carrots over there. So, yeah.
do you more naturally say Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas in your
Merry
day-to-day life? Love it. All right,
Merry
good,
Christmas.
because that's what we say here. I hear a lot of Happy Christmas, which I like too, but we say Merry Christmas here. Cool. I like to ask people.
No, it's cool. Right, I'm gonna have to go before I get my nutsack fucking chopped off.
There it is.
And yeah, guys, have a good one, yeah. And I'll probably speak to you on Boxing Day.
You got it.
Yep.
Merry Christmas,
Speak
guys.
to you then. Good day, sir. Thank you.
Love, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Good day. Merry Christmas.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess in Merry Christmas to you, free market. We could probably start to wrap it up here, but what a year. Well, I shouldn't say what a year it's been. We're still going to be going live next week, and we'll have some year-end wrap-ups, but what a run-up it's been towards Christmas, and really incredible to hear Cass say stuff like that.
Absolutely, bud. And a very Merry Christmas to you as well. I look very much forward to this new year. This show has been a blast. I've never been happier, and I love you, buddy.
Yeah, man, love you too. This is great. We'll still be kind of around, but make sure that everyone, spend some time with your family if you're able to. Obviously, it's difficult with COVID and whatnot, but we'll be around. But yeah, just take the time and enjoy it. NFTs and AlphaMint aren't going anywhere. We're here for the long haul, and get some much needed rest and relaxation, and enjoy it.
Good luck at the dinner table, DJs.
Merry Christmas, guys.